A very, very beautiful Monday morning to you and a warm welcome to the press, reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Olamide Alhassan, and today is the 25th day of August 2025. And just like we always do on the press, we first of all give you the updates on the weather forecast, and afterwards we take you through what happened on the front page, what made it to the front page of our national dailies, and afterwards we get to bring you guests who would open the show and analyze most of the things that we're going to be discussing this morning to you. And also there'll be a segment where our phone lines will then be open for you to call in and join the conversation as it progresses. So right about now, let's give you updates on the weather forecast. And of course, you know me, I love to start from the core north. So let's take a deep dive to Kano State and know what the weather is saying in Kano State. So for Kano State, on the average, it says about 24 degrees Celsius. It's cloudy. The highest is at 28 degrees Celsius and the lowest is at 22 degrees Celsius. And rainy conditions are expected around 12 as wind gusts are up to 26 kilometers per hour. And from there on, that's it for the weather forecast in Kano State. And now let's see what Kaduna has in store. And now Kaduna State says on the average about 21 degrees Celsius. It's currently cloudy. The highest is at 27 degrees Celsius and the lowest is at 21 degrees Celsius. And rainy conditions are expected around 1 p.m. as wind gusts are up to 15 kilometers per hour in Kaduna State. And from Kaduna, let's take our next stop in Port Harcourt, the south part of Nigeria. Port Harcourt says 23 degrees Celsius on the average. The highest is at 29 degrees Celsius and the lowest is at 23 degrees Celsius. And rainy conditions are expected around 2 p.m. as wind gusts are up to 7 kilometers per hour in Port Harcourt. And right from Port Harcourt now to Imo State, you can see it's also cloudy. In Imo State, it says about 23 degrees Celsius on the average, and the highest is at 29 degrees Celsius, and the lowest is at 23 degrees Celsius. And rainy conditions are expected around 3 p.m. as wind gusts are up to 12 kilometers per hour in Imo State today. And then from Imo State, our next stop, of course, it's the commercial nerve center of Nigeria, Lagos State. The Lagos State says on the average, it's about 24 degrees Celsius. The highest is at 28 degrees Celsius and the lowest is at 24 degrees Celsius. And it says partly cloudy conditions are expected around 1600, which is 4 p.m. today, as wind gusts are up to 22 kilometers per hour in Lagos State. And from there on, let's see. But returning back to the Federal Capital Territory, where you're currently watching us from, Abuja. In Abuja today, rainy conditions about 21 degrees Celsius on the average. The highest is at 27 degrees Celsius and the lowest is at 21 degrees Celsius. And rainy conditions are expected around 11 a.m. as wind gusts are up to 10 kilometers per hour. Well, that's it for the weather forecast. It's time now to see what made it to the front page of our national dailies. The reason why we give you the update on the weather forecast is just so you know how best to get your day started, how best to get yourself planned and get ready for the day's activity. So from the look of things, it might not really rain today, but of course you have to still be prepared because it's still rainy season, right? So you just have to get yourself ready, probably with your vacuum flask, your umbrella, whatever makes you comfortable. Just make sure you have yourself protected and, get yourself ready. It's Monday, a fresh week. And I'm sure you had a great weekend. Now let's head on to our national dailies to see what they have in store. We'll start by taking some punchy headlines from the Punch newspaper. It says sick and stranded. Sick and stranded. I would really probably think it was just playing upon words, but thinking deeply about what this says, it's pretty scary. Sick and stranded. Presidential order fails to curb soaring drug prices. Have you heard the latest price of medications, despite the fact that lots of taxes have been evaded just to ensure that price of drugs come down? So regardless of that, they're saying, despite presidential order, there's still soaring prices for drugs in the market. So essential medicine still unaffordable despite tax waivers, says pharmacies struggle amid weak naira. Essential medicine still unaffordable despite pharmacies still struggle amid naira weakness. And that's it. Essential medicine still unaffordable despite tax waivers. Pharmacies struggle amid weak naira. And now other stories from the Punch newspaper this morning. It says PDP NEC gets zoning report today amid convention crisis. PDP NEC gets zoning reports today amid NEC convention crisis, and that's on page 44. Locals beg FG as Osun Ondo federal roads crumble. Locals beg federal government as Osun Ondo federal roads crumble, and that's on page 44 as well for your read. And now Yoruba leaders push for Makinde Adeleke's intervention in Alaafin conflict. Yoruba leaders push for Makinde Adeleke's intervention in Alaafin and Oni's conflicts, and that's on page 9. FG shuts 22 illegal tertiary institutions, and that's on page 8. Pregnancy faking widow nabbed with cocaine in Lagos. Pregnancy faking widow nabbed with cocaine in Lagos, and that's on page 4 and 5. FD begins phase 2 of 12,000 megawatt Siemens power projects, and that's on page 7. Piazza sources 20 billion naira in Series 3 and 4 commercial paper approved by SEC. You can check inside for more details on that story. As Premium Trust Bank achieves CBN 200 billion naira recapitalization mandates for national banks, reinforces market leadership, and that's on page 35 for your read this morning. And now let's head on to the Vanguard to find out what the Vanguard has in store for us. The Vanguard says economy, industrialization in jeopardy as agric manufacturing sink. Economy, industrialization in jeopardy as agric manufacturing sink. As services sector takes driving seats, manufacturing loses 1.2 trillion naira in 5 years, according to report. FDI plummets amid waning investors' confidence. Rebasing exposes sector structural weakness, says Man. Nigeria struggling with deindustrialization, says NESG. Manufacturing should contribute 40% to GDP, says ECBO. And that's on page 19. Insecurity, concerned stakeholders decry killing of 10,217 persons in just 2 years, and that's on page 8. Governor Abdul Razak declares war on kidnappers, bandits after deadly attack, and that's on page 6. NBA conference, Sultan Mba Malema attacks lawyers on justice protection of poor. That's on page 19. Imported steel products drain over $4 billion foreign exchange annually, says Minister, and that's on page 5 for your read. Now, Man to federal government, engage local contractors for Lagos perimeter fencing. That's on page 26. Labour tackles federal government over proposed pay rise for political office holders. Labour tackles federal government over proposed pay rise for political office holders, and that's on page 8. Intrigue as Benue Assembly elects new speaker, and that's on page 13. Falana to EFCC, return recovered 32.7 billion naira, $445,000 loot to NCPA, and that's on page 9. And now declare state of emergency in Katsina, Zamfara over insecurity. That's according to ADC to Tinubu, and that's on page 9 for your read this morning. Each time I look at the dark sky, at night, I feel like touching a star. That's coming from Mr. And Mrs. is saying, what if I made, okay, Mrs. said so, I beg your pardon, and Mr. is saying, what if I made you touch a word of Crips, new Naira notes? And Mrs. says, I'll hug a star like I'm doing now. Well, that's it on the front page of the Vanguard. And now let's move on to other papers to see what they have in store for us. Up next is The Nation. The Nation says Nigeria, Brazil to seal deals in aviation, livestock, other sectors. Nigeria, Brazil to seal deals in aviation, livestock, other sectors. Tinubu on two-day visits. A South-South synergy will generate investment, millions of jobs. And that's in the front page for your read this morning. Foreign portfolios rose to 1.3 trillion naira in 7 months. And that's on page 3. Rising foreign reserves spur naira rally cross markets. And that's on page 19. Alake, investing in Nigeria's mining sector profitable. That's on page 4 for your read this morning. Nasani Tech transfer attracts $2 billion commitment from CEO. Says CEO, I beg your pardon. Nasani Tech transfer attracts $2 billion commitment, says CEO, and that's on page 3. Africa will be better with single economy. Africans will be better off with single economy. Malema chides xenophobia. Sultan seeks justice, access to the poor, for the poor. Screening for 1,500 Dangote cement truck drivers. That's on page 4. ADC slams PDP governors, and that's also available on page 4 as well. Now 6 dead, 19 rescued in another boat accident. Police deport Chinese gang kingpin, and that's on page 6 for your read as well. New debt financing strategy reduces foreign exposure. That's a lot of story right there. That ends with, they had more of the details on page 2. Troops, what you see here is picture troops of the 16th Battalion garrison window during the destruction of illegal refinery in Biyani, Yenagoa, Bayelsa State during the weekend. And that's all we for the Nation newspaper. And now to the Leadership newspaper. Leadership says mixed reactions as Sultan says justice becoming purchasable commodity. Mixed reactions as Sultan says justice becoming purchasable commodity. Writer says the poor are becoming victims of this kind of justice, while the rich commit all manner of crimes and walk the streets scot-free. That's on page 4 for your read this morning. Nigeria South Africa should forge economic partnership, says Malema, and that's on the front page as well. NLC rejects proposed pay rise for political office holders, and that's on page 7. DMO projects single-digit inflation by 2027. How possible? We're going to find out more. And our Rivers residents split over Fubara's anticipated return, and that's on page 4. Benue Assembly gets new speaker, that's on page 7. Gunmen kill man, wife, 5 others in Imo State. Now 6 dead, 19 rescued, 3 missing in first Sokoto boat accident, and that's on page 30. Ibom Air versus Emerson. Governor Eno sues for peace promises compensation, and that's on page 7. After 3 missed deadlines, NNPC sets November for AKK project's completion, and that's on page 38 for your read this morning. Well, the picture story you find is of Deputy Governor of Enugu State, Ifeanyi Osai, then President Nigerian Bar Association, Josiah Osigwe San, and Enugu State Governor Peter Ndubisi Mba after Sultan Sokoto Mohammed Said Abubakar III, a member of the National Assembly of South Africa and founder, economic freedom fighter, EFF, Julius Malema, at the opening of NBA conference in Enugu yesterday. Well, that's it for the front page of the Leadership newspaper. Now let's see what the Matrix has in store. Matrix says planned salary increase for politicians. NLC Sarah blow hot. Planned salary increase for politicians. NLC Sarah blow hot. NLC puts exercise on hold before it triggers a tsunami. It's gross misuse of RMAF's constitutional statutory mandate, says Sarah. And that's on the front page of the paper this morning. South Africa opposition leader warns Nigeria, others against IMF World Bank loans. South African opposition leader warns Nigeria, others against IMF World Bank loans. And now opposition slams Tinubu over Katsina and for killings. ADC stop jet setting Declare state of emergency in crisis states. And that's on page 3 for your read this morning. World Bank reaffirms support for Nigeria's development agenda. That's on page 2. And now twist, suspended lawmaker emerges Benue Assembly's new speaker. That's on the front page for your read this morning. Alake woos Japanese investors to explore opportunities in Nigeria's mining sector. Victor Boniface's AC Milan transfer collapses over failed medical, says official. And now Customs Nasima strengthening partnership on trade facilitation. That's on page 12. Excitement as Priscilla Jumajukes welcome baby boy in Canada. And that's on page 21 for your read this morning. And now let's move on to First Daily. El-Rufai hails alliance as SDP ADC merge in Kaduna. El-Rufai hails alliance as SDP ADC merge in Kaduna. That's on the front page for your read this morning. Politicians pay hikes stir uproar. NLC Serap joining outcry. And that's on the front page for your read this morning. Benue Assembly Speaker resigns after suspension. Impeachment plot. Utomi endorses Obi 6 one-term rotational presidency. And now killings. Declare emergency in Katsina, Zamfara now. ADC urges Tinubu. NDLEA arrests widow for cocaine trafficking with fake pregnancy. That's on the front page for your read. 2027, no Igbo candidates will challenge Tinubu, Ohaneze declares. Lagos police disband tactical squad after viral assault video. Nigerian police repatriates wanted Chinese gang leader. And that's on the front page for your read this morning. Now let's take a dive into other papers to see what they have in store for us. Moving on, we take a look at the Nigerian Tribune. Nigerian Tribune says our RMAF's 2025 revenue review can fix Nigeria's fiscal imbalance, says experts. PDP holds make or break neck meeting over national convention zoning formula. Tension grips leaders as APC targets more governors. Tinubu likely to receive another PDP governor on arrival. And that's on page 21 for your read this morning. And we have steep hike in sugary drinks. Steep hike in sugary drinks tax code derails sugar master plan. Threatening jobs, expert warns. And that's on page 6 for your read this morning. Aviation stakeholders express reservation as FG moves to cut down on air travel expenses. And that's on page 6. NDLEA arrests widow using fake pregnancy to traffic cocaine. Intercepts 90 parcels of loud in kitchen sink. And that's on page 26 for your read as well. And now police repatriate wanted Chinese gang leader in Interpol operation. And that's on page 24. Justice increasingly becoming purchasable in Nigeria, says Sultan. Justice increasingly becoming purchasable in Nigeria, says Sultan. And that's on page 25 for your read. Malema cautions African nations against debt trap. Loans from World Bank, IMF. Law conscience of the nation. Justice sector reform a cornerstone of our administration, says Mba. Well, that's it on the front page. And now 6 dead, 3 missing in Sokoto boat accident. Naseni secures $2 billion commitments, 40 market-ready products under Tinubu's. That's on page 4. Osun residents blame federal government APC over LG fund. Seizures vow reprisal at polls. That's on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. And now to the Daily Times. The Daily Times says NLC to RMAFC. Halt politicians' pay increase or risk national uproar. And that's on page 2. NFC to RMAFC halts politicians, pay increase or risk national uproar. Investors lose 2.2 trillion naira in 1 week as naira extends losing streak. Investors lose 2.29 trillion naira in 1 week as naira extends losing streak, and that's on page 12. Security agencies deserve better working environment, says Akpabio. Security agencies deserve better working environment, says Akpabio, and that's on page 5. As we have other stories on the paper this morning, Olubadan designates Ladoja tax family heads on security in Ibadan. North Central Group demands presidential tickets from PDP, ADC, and SDP. KWSG to prioritize Fulani herders' children education to end insecurity. Now, Delta 2027, Omagege urged not to run against Oriri, and that's on the front page. Enemies within sponsored fake news campaign against NMPP leadership group. That's on the front page for your read this morning. And finally, on the front page of the Voice of Liberty newspaper, we have arrest the slaughter in Katsina, Zamfara, declare state of emergency, ADC to Tinubu. Sokoto, 6 dead, 3 missing in president's fleeing bandits town. I beg your pardon. 6 dead, 3 missing as residents fleeing bandits town. And that's on the front page. Serap gives Tinubu 7-day ultimatum to stop politicians' pay rise. Return recovered 32.7 billion naira, $445,000 loot to Nsipa, says Falano to EFCC. NBC at 33. IBAN chairman Ramalan hails regulators' role in shaping Nigeria's media, entertainment, and culture. Well, the excerpt you see is the African Democratic Congress has condemned the massacre in Malum Fashi, Katsina State, where dozens of worshippers and villagers were brutally killed, describing it as further proof of Nigeria's collapsed security architecture. Well, that's it on the front page of Voice of Liberty, and that's all we leave for the front page of our national dailies. It's time now for a quick break. When we return, be joined by guests for analysis of most of the top stories just read out to you. Do not also forget that our phone lines will then be open for you to call in and join the conversation. We'll be right back, to stay with us. Welcome back, viewers. You're still on To The Press, and we're reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. We've now been joined by our guests from last week Monday. We have Habib, Gajo in the studio, and Richard Oriri to help us analyze most of the top stories I read out to you earlier. And the reason why I brought them back is so we can have a better conversation. I'm sure you guys enjoyed it last week, and we feel like we should have another conversation like that. But this time around, these two gentlemen are going to pledge to us today that's going to be, we're going to have a more civil conversation in the studio. You're welcome to studio, gentlemen. How are you doing today?
Very fine. Good morning,
Good morning,
Nigerians.
Good morning, Mr. Gajo. Good morning, Mr.
Good morning, Olamide. Good morning, Oriri.
I'll need you both to pledge that today you're going to let each other speak, and we're going to enjoy the meat of the conversation. do we pledge to that?
You see, Olamide.
Yes, sir.
I attended a university that our lecturers they are not teachers.
Oh.
You understand?
Okay.
They are
like co-debaters.
They are lecturers, they debate with their students.
Impressive.
You understand? So, definitely some issues need to be debated. You understand?
I agree.
But debating and shouting from Mr. Oriri, I think is...
Are you about to get started on that?
All right.
Yes, we are in democracy, and the kind of democracy we operate in Nigeria, I think it should be participatory. So we all participated in the argument, and that is all about a democracy. But when it's not going in the interest of the nation, that is, and is going personal. That's when it's not right. But our allegiance is to Nigerians. It's not to ourselves or to our friends.
Absolutely.
So since our allegiance is to Nigerians, I think we'll give that benefit of doubt that we are going to be fair in our judgment today, not to attacking ourselves, but attacking the issues in the interest of the country.
I think I love the sound of that. So this is just a reminder that it's okay to disagree, but of course we disagree to agree eventually, right?
For the interest of Nigeria.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right. So viewers, this is also the time where we get to let you know that our phone lines are now open for you to call in and join the conversation as it progresses this morning. I'm not saying pick a side. I'm just saying say whatever comes to your mind. All right, viewers. I want Mr. Richard, Mr. Gajo. There's been the NBA conference going on, and a lot of issues have been raised. Different aspects, the economy, security, different angles, different conversation, even justice situation in the country. But let's take this statement from the Sultan of Sokoto, because I want to believe that he has a reason why he made the statement, and I'd love to get your opinions on that. They say mixed reactions as Sultan says justice becoming purchasable commodity. It says the poor becoming victims of this kind of justice while the rich commit all manner of crimes and walk the streets scot-free. We find situations where people would often say go to court. Like if there's any sort of annoying situation, people would say go to court, go to court, go to court. It's so easy to say go to court these days because so would you believe that maybe the Sultan may be right? I'll start with Mr. Gajo.
Why are you starting from me? Why you have somebody from your right?
Well, I chose to go to my far left.
Well, you see, I always say democracy is a rule of the law, not a rule by the law. You understand? So, the law governs the democracy. Without a law or judicial system government, definitely our democracy will collapse. That's what Sultan is saying. Now that the politicians are buying judgment, you understand, the judgment has become the essential commodities.
Yes.
The most expensive one, for that matter. Most of the lawyers also charge a huge amount of money. There is a lawyer chamber who charge almost R1 billion to defend your case. You understand?
Very well.
So, and the justices are giving judgment based on who get what. You understand?
Yes.
Not based on the side of the justice. In the last election, I said judgment has been delivered, but justice has not been delivered. You understand? I see that. I said so many things about judiciary previously, because the way and manner we are saying things are coming out, there is no justice at all in our judicial system, right from the grassroots, right from our magistrate court, you understand? Yes. Up to the Supreme Court, there is no judgment. And they will say judgment, justice, judiciary is the last hope of the common man. You understand? But today the common man has become a victim of judiciary. You will never get justice. I have never seen an ordinary man who got justice in Nigeria. Only the rich and the politicians. You understand? You believe that? So I don't know. Like they used to say, if you don't know how the West was working and how the bourgeois is working, you understand? Definitely will not get what, will not understand what our politicians and our judiciary are working on. All right. Mr. Richard.
Purchasable commodity.
Yes, I would like to get your opinion, because Sultan says it's becoming purchasable commodity, which means that there may be no justice. Whoever has the money is the person who gets justice, because the poor are now becoming victims while the rich actually walk scot-free on the streets.
Yes, I will take it from another perspective, and the perspective I want to take it from is that His Royal Majesty, the Emir of Sokoto, I think he wasn't saying that judiciary entirely, they are not giving judgment based on what should be given as judgment, but he might be looking at it from the perspective that it's not every Nigerian that have the means now to ventilate their grievances in court because of the cost effect of it. Now, if you need to ventilate your grievances in court, in going to seek for justice, you need to engage the services of a lawyer. And if you don't have the means to engage the services of a lawyer, it will be very difficult for you to go to court and ventilate your grievances and to seek for justice from the court. And in another way to it again, even when you ventilate these your grievances, are you expecting to be given fair judgment when you don't have the means to approaching those that play around the court? Because the court now, from his statement, is being looked at as an environment where the highest bidder take the day. And we have been seeing it from different judgments delivered in Nigeria. Now, if you have the means to approach the court and you have the resources to influence the court, because in Nigerian court, the way I see it, the judges, they are in charge of their individual courts. They are like God in their court. Whichever pronouncement they make, no punishment. So in that, they will say, in my court, they will even say it to your hearing, that in this my court, my pronouncement is final. If you like, you go and appeal it. No matter how they twist the judgment, either in your favor or against you, it's in their court and it's in their own best interest. So now, they capitalize on this loophole that nobody punish them, and as no system is there to punish them, even if you take them to that system that is there to punish them, like the Judicial Service Commission, to punish them, will you make your way? Will you have your way? So what the eminent our father, the Emir of Sokoto, is saying is going too deep into our body system, because Nigerians generally, we are being discouraged to even going to court. Like now, from 2023 till now, if you look at the cases that went to court from the lapses recorded in the election, from the election, you will see clearly that even those who are supposed to be giving judgment, we are not giving judgment. Now you can equally look at it again from how politicians boast with all their strength. The other day we heard the FCT minister saying that the meeting organized by the PDP working committee in Lagos, that he was not aware of it. Where is his hope coming from? If they have their own parallel meeting, and those other people have their own parallel meeting, he may likely go to court, and at the end, the court, where most of them have the hope of getting their having their way, will equally say the other meeting was not known to the law, and at the end, they will have their way. So the manipulative arrangement of politicians within the court system, and I say, what has destroyed the Nigerian court, allegedly destroyed by Nigerians, the way we see it, the system in the court system in Nigeria, why it is the way it is now, is politicians. Outside the politicians influencing the court, even the business class, the private from the private sector, we have not seen record of where businessmen go to court to influencing them in their favor. But politicians have done it on several occasions. The rule of law in every democratic system is for you as a citizen who is managing the institution of a government in different department, different sector, to obey the rule. It's in the constitution. This is how you should behave. This is what you should do. This is what you should do if we come to this way.
Okay.
But our institution, the head of institutions in Nigeria, are they obeying the rules?
All right. I see Mr. Gajo wanted to say something.
As stipulated in the constitution.
What I want to add to what Oriri said, His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, he made a categorical statement that no matter how you want to interpret his statement, is two ways. He didn't blame Nigerians, but he blamed
the court,
the structure of these two organizations. You understand? Two arms of government. Sorry. Now, let me take us back to 2016.
Are you using election as a basis?
Not election as a basis.
Okay.
As a government instrument of power was used against justices, broke their house, accused them of collecting bribes and so on and so forth. You understand? Many were arrested and detained. You understand? Some resigned. In 2017, the Chief Justice of the Federation, Onoge, was removed by a sponsored cohort of government from the Code of Conduct Bureau, Justice Aladi, who doesn't have the jurisdiction, you understand, to suspend him. He was, up till today, Chief Justice of the Federation is going to court. You understand?
But do you think that
I'm coming, and the court will not sit because the file was not brought from the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. You understand? A whole Chief Justice of the Federation is looking for justice for himself and for Nigerians. Before and when Mahmoud, what's his name, Mohammed Mahmoud was Chief Justice of the Federation, he was accused of corruption. He resigned and left. Before this woman, is it this woman that succeeded him? So, you see, it has a process. Before 2014 down, or 2015 down, there is a justice. We saw how Obasanjo lost almost 28 cases in court, both federal, high court, and appeal, Supreme Court. The president lost. The government, the governors lost cases. You understand? So many lost cases, so many wins. Political parties go to court, wins, lose. You understand? Is normal. You understand? The court is there to interpret the constitution and give justice to Nigerians. But unfortunately, from 2003 or from 2000, let me not be specific, but from this decade, or if you combine Buhari and Tinubu's administration, honestly, there is no justice anywhere in any court. In fact, there is a lawyer.
So you're saying from 2015?
There is a judges that DSS accused of selling judgment to a client.
Okay.
And to the fact that because they have the evidence, the DSS have the evidence, the judgment was leaked to the lawyer because the lawyer, the so-called son, bribed the judge, and the judge told him the judgment, so they went to court confidently and got that judgment. You understand? That judgment was sold to the highest bidder. So Sultan is 100% right and correct.
Okay.
We need a reform in our judicial system. We need reform in our security structure, and we need a reform in our political system. We need an amendment.
I believe
some amendment in our own constitution.
But I want to ask Mr. Richard, Mr. Gajo just made reference to politics around the fact that justice has now become purchasable, and he used the APC's administration as a reference point because he specifically said between Buhari's time towards this period where President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is currently, the president. Would you agree with him that this injustice started just in 2015?
I disagree with him, unless he back it up with facts
and claims.
But what is there is that the Nigerian judicial system, even from Obasanjo time, have been manipulated in so many ways, so many times, and we can look at it from different election tribunals, where, like in Edo, was it in Jonathan time or one president time, a judge resigned from presiding over a political case on the basis that he was being pressured by politicians. In Benue State, recently, a female judge resigned presiding over a case concerning the APC national chairman suspending the ESCO of APC in Benue State, that the judge, Justice Igoche, was presiding over. Pressure from political circle on her to do their bidding made her to resign because she want to follow the face of the law. She want to follow the case on the basis of law, not on the basis of influence. And that is why, from what he said, you see clearly that what is happening in the judicial system is coming majorly from politicians. And it is the politicians that have destroyed our judicial system. And some Nigeria, even if we reform the judicial system, have we reformed the lawyers who are being promoted into these offices as judges? The reformation have to start from us as citizens, because just some of these lawyers who have made themselves available as a tool for these injustices against Nigerians and against the institution of the court is the problem. You see where a politician will ensure that his wife or his brother is being promoted to a Supreme Court judge. You see a case where a governor's wife or senator's wife is being promoted to appeal court judges, judge. Instead of allowing the judicial system, instead of allowing the judicial council to be in charge of this nomination of those who are qualified, who merit this position.
So you're also blaming the means of promotion and appointment.
Means of promotion, appointment, and all of that is being influenced by politicians, and it's a problem. Then us again as citizens who make ourselves available as tools to be used by this politician. No matter how you reform the judicial system, and the mindset of these judges is not reformed in line with Nigerian value, there's no how we'll get it right.
Mr. Gajo, let's get your thoughts.
Mr. Oriri, you said I should back it with fact. I have given you fact. The judgment since in the inception of democracy in 1999. How many governors Obasanjo removed illegally? Judiciary returned them. You understand?
You will mention the ones. You will mention the ones that are questionable.
I will.
If you don't have that fact of mentioning them,
I will mention Plateau, Oyo State, Ikiti,
who are the governors involved? You mentioned them.
Joshua Darie, Ladoja, Ayo Fayoshe, and others. You understand?
Yes.
So many governors were removed then, and judiciary returned them by justice, I think, Balugore. Now, the second one.
I want us to wrap up on this justice matter so we can go to other topics.
So, all the facts that Nigerians need to know, I have already presented them. You understand? Now, the reason why I accuse politicians of that.
You did not just accuse politicians, you accused a particular, administration.
Okay, now I accuse a particular administration.
Yes.
Because the facts are very clear to that administration. I gave you how Justice Onoge was removed, how justices were arrested midnight illegally, you understand, against the law. Thirdly, a senator stood up in the in the chamber and said his wife is a court of appeal judge, you understand, the president of court of appeal, influence,
like a compromising statement,
influence judgment, but in favor of their party. This is a senator.
All right.
You understand? So there is many facts. You see, sometimes power corrupt absolutely. You understand?
Of course.
Because now they feel like nobody will do anything to them, and nothing will happen to them. There is no check and balances. You understand?
Very well.
The judiciary, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary has merged together to suppress Nigerians.
Right.
So people like Sultan, more of Sultan, should come out and speak on this thing so that we will start having justice in our country. No matter how small it is, at least we will see justice, we will see the light of it.
My worry would be that no matter how much is spoken, if we don't take actions, there probably would be nothing.
Action will come.
All
you understand?
Actions, we hope so. Okay, so when you
put your strategy of reform in place, wallahi, it will work. If you are honest, if the president is honest, if the Chief Justice of the Federation is honest, if the Senate President is honest, if the Code of Conduct Bureau is honest, wallahi, we will start having justice in Nigeria.
Noted. So let's quickly dive into the economic issues, part of what was also raised during the NBA conference. We have this story on the front page of the Vanguard that says economy, industrialization in jeopardy as agri manufacturing sink. As services sector takes driving seats, manufacturing loses 1.2 trillion naira in 5 years, according to reports. And there's also a statement from Malema. It says Nigeria South Africa should forge economic partnership as they believe that Africa is better off with a single economy. Now, there are two sides to this story. The conversation around Africa is better as a single economy. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Richard. That's one conversation. Another conversation is the fact that the manufacturing sector in Nigeria is suffering. You find a lot of people who would rather go and do content creation to make money than probably go to the farm to farm products, or even want to process those products to get actual money, or even do any sort of exportation. So I'd like to get your thoughts on that. And do you see a situation where, as African, as a continent, we would truly have a single economy like Nigeria itself? Can we really be on that one body and it's going to move? Besides now going into Africa in general, can we really have that sort of unity with our different diversities? I'd like to get your thoughts first.
Okay, let me start from the economy.
Yes.
And what is there is that it will be difficult for manufacturing, let's say industrialization generally, to take its foot very strong on the Nigerian soil presently, because there are too many factors. The factors are insecurity, flip-flop government policies. Government policies are not stable, and once government policies are not stable, that will favor the economy. There is no how any foreign investor will come into the country. Even local investors will be scared to sink their fund into production, into the production sector, and that is what is happening. Most Nigerians who even have the money, some of these online content creators, they have so much money that they can even come to stay. I'm starting up a pure water business. I'm starting up this bottling, all these bottling companies, business, and some other small businesses. But they are afraid of the system, the environment, in terms of security, in terms of manpower. Where will you get the manpower to start the business? If you get the manpower, how will you train them? Because our education system is faulty equally. So for the security angle to it, they will be happy staying in their rooms. They will be happy staying in their rooms to be doing this content creation and then getting their money quietly. That is why the manufacturing sector is suffering so much. Then on the other side of it, to the African, Nigeria and the South African merging together to form, bringing the whole of African country together to form a single economy. It's doable. It's doable, but are our leaders ready for it? They don't even have trust in each other. The leaders within the African continent, they don't have trust on each other. And once there's no trust, there's no how you can do any combined business. And if the economy should come together, it's our borders safe for the free flow of these businesses across the African continent. Our borders are not safe. So to do it in that line, I think is very difficult for now, except the African leaders come together to see how they will fight some of these roadblock to the success of this single economy within there. It's a very good policy, very good idea, very, very good idea, but it's not doable for now because of some of the things we are having. Look at Burkina Faso and all of these, some of other countries, they have disengaged from ECOWAS. They have disengaged from ECOWAS because there's no unity, no cooperation at all among the leaders. Until the leaders have cooperation, there's no how you have economic cooperation. If leadership have no cooperation and they are disintegrated, if you look at it, you see that the whole African leaders, they are disintegrated. Everyone is chasing what benefits them individually, and they are not cooperating to do things in common. So as a result, it will be very difficult for now, as I said. So for the two, they are good, but it will be difficult because we have lack of leadership. Yes, leadership is the problem.
Mr. Gajo, let's get your thoughts, because I know you're a businessman, so you see how this is working.
Yeah, you know, as a political economist, Nigeria, we have to tell Nigeria the truth. You understand? We need to tell the powers that what they are doing is killing the economy.
Okay.
By borrowing what you don't need. You understand? You are killing manufacturing. Lack of electricity, lack of transportation, lack of education, lack of health care, and lack of communication. You understand? All those factors are affecting our manufacturing. Now, Nigeria has turned to a servicing economy. You understand? That is why you call entertainment and content creators. You understand?
Yes.
It has become a servicing economy. You understand?
Yes.
You have to have a data, you have to have a computer, you have to have a smartphone to create something in order to make money. You understand? Manufacturing has been abandoned. Exactly that's what happened to United States of America. United States of America abandoned manufacturing. You understand?
Yes.
When they abandoned manufacturing, China pick up the manufacturing. You understand? Now, China and America are now battling with tariff. You understand? How are they going to save their economy? Because 60 to 70% of American economy has now become a servicing economy. You understand? While 80 to 70% of China's economy is manufacturing, manufacturing and production economy. So this affects Nigeria, including South Africa. South Africa also, South Africa also left manufacturing. You understand? So they are now also a giant in servicing economy. So the way Nigeria and South Africa will bring African economy, I didn't see it is going to be very hard. The manufacturing economy in African countries, one, I can say Ghana, two, I can say what they call it, Zimbabwe. You understand? Where you see some of the products are manufactured there. You understand?
Very well.
But you hardly see what is being manufactured in Nigeria or made in Nigeria. It's only Indomie and other biscuit and so on and so forth. You understand? And the heavy burden of tax is also something else. If you want to merge economies together, or you want to work as economies together, you have to look at your tax. Our Nigerian tax are heavy. You understand? So IMF always push Nigeria and South Africa to borrow. You understand? Borrow and service your economy. Borrow and service your economy. Today, banking sector and so on and so forth. If you look at the way Naira are going down, you understand? Every day, Naira will crash for like 9 months before it make a gain in 2 months. You understand? So it's somehow pathetic. So the political economy of it is not there. You understand? I didn't see political will from Nigeria and South Africa. When you come back to the economy of Nigeria, you understand, there is a lot of, the first challenge is education. The second one is insecurity. Insecurity is in all over 36 states, and the industrial powers of Nigeria are 3 to 4 states: Lagos, Kano, Ogun, Port Harcourt, Abia, and Aba, Enugu State, and Anambra State. Those are the industrial powers of Nigeria. They don't have electricity. It's only Lagos and Ogun that has electricity. There is insecurity in the southeast. There is insecurity in the north. There is no insecurity in the southwest. You understand? So these are the situations we found ourselves. To move those commodities from one place to another to make sales, you understand, is now become more difficult. The way Amana, the councillors, chairman, local government, traditional rulers, federal government, state government collect tax from truck owners. You understand? Moving goods is so pathetic and so sad that Nigerian driver will spend over ₦1 million to deliver a produce, whether it is agriculture, whether it is I don't see that economy making any headway until those reform has been made and adjustment has been made. And for South Africa, is a good gesture to say it, but as Richard said, even in ECOWAS we cannot put our economy together, you understand, for our benefit of ECOWAS, then definitely it's going to be hard for Africa to unite economically, socially, and security-wise.
You know, it's quite pathetic, because most of the time there are lots of things that we believe that we could actually achieve as a continent. But looking at it from the angle of the kind of diversity that we have, you cannot decide you want to go to South Africa without needing a visa. You cannot decide you want to go to other African countries without needing a visa. So if we're going to have... You
remind me of Dangote. Dangote want to travel to Namibia. You understand?
Yes.
As the richest man in Africa, you know, he said he arrived there. He said, no, you can't enter. You have to go back and do your visa and so on and so forth. So within the Africa, you understand? And he is investing there. He has investment there. So
for the richest black man, or the richest African man. So would you, in that kind of situation where we still have this little hitches here and there, despite the fact that you both are not seeing it as an achievable goal, with this issue of visa as well, do you think it's a place where we probably can, you know, have a head start?
Yeah, the visa policy, like he said, in Africa as a whole, is a problem, it's a challenge. He just gave the example where Dangote was not able to enter one country within the African sub-region as a big investor in the African region. It's a challenge. Seriously, it's a challenge. And the point he raised that I so much like here is issue of this political economy, where states, governments, they are not coming in to assisting the economy by ensuring that we have good education system, because it is through the education system that you have good manpower that will give adequate input to any production, and the health system as well. Government is leaving everything to the private sector, which is not right. Government is not assisting to ensure that Nigerians, the citizens who will provide this manpower to these production sectors, will have good health system before they can give a better output to whatever they are doing. And again, it talks about road infrastructure. Is a very big challenge. Very big challenge. It's a very big challenge in the whole of African region. It's a serious challenge. Then security wise, and then tax, he mentioned tax. These tax mostly don't even come from government, but some, especially in Nigeria, is the police. If you are moving from Onitsha to Abuja here, you will see police checkpoint more than 200. And this police checkpoint, they collect money from this,
because you find other uniforms as well.
No, police, even road safety now have joined. Road safety have joined.
Talking about even the army, you find people on the road.
No, the army, you hardly see army collecting. You hardly see army collecting money from road users. You hardly see army collecting money. The people who have made it as a norm, a culture among them, police. And now road safety have joined them. Once they see you carry goods, you are in trouble. They will park you maybe for days. You are in trouble. Goods that you see that they are taking from this point to the other point to serve Nigerians, you keep them on the road because they have not bribed you. Not that you are doing that because they don't have vehicle particulars. They are doing that because to you they have overload. Yes. What basis?
And the quick that make the product cheap.
You understand? It's a very big challenge. It's a very big challenge to us in Nigeria. And most of these goods that you see, prices going up. It's as a result of some of these things that they face on the road. Some of this punishment they face on the road from the institutions established to serve the country. So it's a big problem. And within the African sub-region, we need to make visa free. If the leaders across the board will come together to see that visa policy is how do I put it? Visa policy is reformed. Either they make it free for any citizen, any business person.
And you know, there were some suggestions at some point that we need to have a single passport across Africa.
A single passport is better. A single passport for the whole of Africa. Once you have that single passport, you can travel to any country within the African sub-region. And again, making it just free like that will equally possibly cause us insecurity, because some hoodlums will use that channel to say, I have freedom to enter any country I want. And you see them moving maybe from Cameroon to Nigeria to train some of our boys who choose to follow that path, and then causing insecurity, unnecessary security around. So a lot need to be done. But the first thing to be done is the leaders, president across the African sub-region, coming together to form a common front, and again trying to see that they are united. They don't have this selfish agenda of, say, my country, you can put it, my country is based on international relation. You have to put the interest of your country first. But putting the interest of your country first should not supersede the interest of the African region. I think that should be the best way to go.
Viewers, I want to apologize. Seems the lines are jammed. I see your calls coming in, but they just keep coming as a beep. Before I try to take them, I lose them. So possibly. I sincerely apologize for that. But just keep trying. I know you never know, you just might get us. Mr. Richard, back to you again. I had to start from you because I want to know what's going on in Benue State. I see this headline saying, intrigue as Benue Assembly elects new speaker. Another headline says, just hours after he dropped some members of the House. So I'd like to get your opinion. What's going on in Benue State? Shed some light on that for us. Okay, sharply, what is going on in Benue is politics. And if you look at the trajectory from the time the present governor of Benue State was inaugurated, he has been facing
politics instead of governance. The first fight was from the State Assembly. This same speaker that he made them to impeach, to remove, he forcefully removed from office yesterday, was the same person that he started the fight from. He stood that the speaker that resigned, Mr. Gajo, should be the one that will be the speaker against Benson appeal from the same constituency, the same book with him. So he put him there, and now after that he took the fight to party executive in the state, that he must be the one to produce who will be the party chairman, that the party chairman that made him to win the election should leave office, and he made the national secretariat of APC to dissolve the status quo, and at the end he came back again to say the chief justice of the state should be removed and replaced by another person. So now today he went back to the state assembly again to say he's removing the speaker, and he has successfully removed the speaker. The state started last week where he cornered some persons in one court, in one hotel, with about 10 members of the House of Assembly.
Finally got a call coming through. Let's quickly take this one. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Captain TV.
Good morning, sir. Welcome to the press. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Mr. John. I'm calling from Otuko.
Okay,
okay, Mr. John, good morning. Thank you for that.
I enjoy all your people that you are speaking with there. They are very intelligent people.
Thank you, sir.
An average Nigerian, if they are not in office, the solution to Nigerian problem is at their fingertip. But whenever they are in the office, the reverse is the case. I don't know why it is so. That is that. I compliment all of you there.
Thank you, sir.
There is something that the man in white said. I want to correct him, or I want to let him know.
Okay.
He said, Army don't take bribe.
Openly. I said openly.
I said it. He's still in defense.
No. In fact, I am not here to argue with him.
You're sharing your opinion too, right? I love that.
You speak well.
Yes.
I want to correct it.
Okay.
So that the discussion we're having now
can be balanced. True.
The army collection of money on the road is even worse than police.
Whoever has had the experience that knows.
Another perspective to it, which is good.
That's why I said call them the uniform people. Okay, please go ahead.
For me, I have traveled across Nigeria. I've been to 30 states in Nigeria, including Abuja.
I have traveled as well, yeah.
For me to travel. So I have experienced a lot.
Exactly.
If you give policeman 100 naira, they may ask you to go. The army will cross the road as if they are checking. They are doing nothing on the road. I'm not trying to condemn them.
Of course, we are not undermining their efforts, of course.
Yes, we are not undermining their efforts. But I am speaking to you as a Nigerian.
And your experience, of course,
my
definitely.
Experience as a Bedouin man who know the kind of trouble that the nation are facing.
Yes.
The army will be, let's say, a kilometer away. Bandits will be doing something at the other side. The army will tell that nobody asked you to go there. So the ones that are on the road, they do nothing but to collect that money. You must pay before you cross.
All right.
So for my gentleman there, it's a point of correction in case you don't know or you are trying to maybe.
He's never had the experience. That's just
I just want to be fair. For what I don't have the experience, I've had the experience from road safety, from police. So for the army, I've not had the experience, and that is why.
Mr. John. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your perspective. Thank you for your perspective.
So, quickly, I wanted to interject that time. It's like I don't want to start another war.
Yeah.
You see, let me tell you, truck owners. Yeah. There is an association of truck owners. We are all in Ariwa Traders Association. You see, these truck owners used to complain. Let me tell you, from Taraba or from Adamawa, Taraba to Benue, a driver spent 700,000. Military checkpoint, they will park you, they will give you price 50,000.
You must pay your tax.
You must pay before you leave. You understand? So always the truck drivers has to go and see these two big men, the garrison commander and the AIG. You understand? To settle them so that their truck, the boys on the ground should not collect more money from them. You understand?
Absolutely.
So it happens, Mr. Oriri, but the military one is the most dangerous one. Wherever you see a military in a highway, you understand, on expressway, you see a military checkpoint, you will see trailers parked in one line. That's what they are giving. 50,000, some down to the south, 100,000, 120. That's what the checkpoint are collecting from a truck owner.
Okay, and Mr. Gajo, just before we go, I'd like to get your thoughts. Do you think that the current governor of Benue State is still too busy with politics and not paying attention to governance?
Has the President of the Federal Republic Nigeria attended to Nigerian problem? He's attending to his political something.
I know if I give room to that, it's going to breed so much conversation because Mr. Richard definitely.
So they are all the same thing. You understand? They are fighting to come back 2027. They don't care about our economy. They don't care our health care, our education, our electricity, our security. They don't care. You understand?
The political.
You will go to a state. You see, for example, in his state, Benue State, in less than in 1 year, almost 6,000 people has been killed by assailant, bandit, kidnappers, cultists, and so on and so forth. Nobody cares about the life of the people, but the government is busy. The state government and the federal government are busy campaigning and endorsement, how to see who will endorse me, who will support me to come back 2027. It's so pathetic that nobody take care of the economy. Like the caller said, that we are all perfect, but when they give us the job, we will fail. You understand? But it's not that way. You understand? When you have it in your head, because we vote people that don't have head.
All right, thank you.
Yes, now,
Mr. Gajo, Mr. Richard, you're running up thoughts.
The issue there is that what we are discussing here and what Nigerians are expecting from every person is to see that governance better the life of the people. What we are talking is about governance, and the executive, from the look of things, the executive across board, from federal to state to local government, they are the one hitting the polity, making everything to be political, and they are not facing governance. If not, how can the governor in Benue State is trying to remove the chief justice of the state, now removing the speaker of the House of Assembly, just to ensure that
dismantling party structure,
because and he is not doing anything to himself as the head of the executive. So if the judiciary is not functioning well, the legislature is not functioning well, there's no how we have democracy. So democracy generally is backsliding in Nigeria, and we should see that we correct it. Correcting it is all Nigerians, we have to reform ourselves, our thinking arrangement to be in line with the value system that our forefathers led for us. That's all we are talking about. Governance is what we want in Nigeria.
A very beautiful place to operate today.
The governor should go and borrow from the Analyst state governor and Lagos state governor.
Okay.
He's not into competition for development. He's into competition for leadership. It's realism they are reading.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I am super happy that we had to end this on a very happy note. Thank you
we have
so
to shake
much.
the tables so that
Mr. Richard,
no, we don't shake table.
Political analyst, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Gajo, Mr. Habib Gajo, thank you so much for your time in the studio today. I really appreciate you both.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you so much, viewers. Apologies, I don't know what happened to the line today, but thank God Mr. John got through. And I'll see you again tomorrow. I am Olamide Alhassan, and please keep watching Captain TV. Bye for now.